Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Keith here, Jesse on the camera, and today on the bench we have the Ford CEN F450, and we're going to throw a couple mods at it that we picked up over Christmas, and yeah, let's get going. Okay guys, so first up set of mods, we are going to do the CEN Racing CD 0450 F450 molded bumper conversion kit. Now this is basically the molded bumpers off of the new F250, but they've come out with these little frame extensions for the rear, which we are mostly interested in because, as you guys know, the frame kind of ends here and there's nothing right to the back. So these new frame extensions will bring us right all the way out to the rear. So that's pretty cool. The bumpers look pretty cool. They do have spots for LEDs in the corners. You can put reverse lights on them and a bunch of lights on the front. Yeah, gonna look good. It's gonna give us a little bit more clearance in the corner. But we're definitely going to paint them because they look a little weird just being the straight molded plastic, if you would. Yeah, exactly. Looks like we get some shackles, some tow hooks, and some little clear detailed actually LED holders, which are pretty nice. And you pop those into the front bumper, or two in the front, two in the rear. There's four. You could put them all in the front if you want, but you put them in there to hold the LED, and they actually look really cool too. They have nice, like those rings on there, or the circles on the end, so it looks like a like an LED bulb cover or whatnot. So, anyhow, let's clear this off, and I'll get the body off. We'll pop back in here and get going. Okay, so we are gonna have to cut off the front and the rear bumper on the body. We'll come back to that a little bit later. So if you guys remember, this truck has these metal extensions for the rear KAOS bumper or trailer hitch, the bumper mount trailer hitch on the rear. But it would be nice to have the full piece of frame going through. We mentioned that right out the gate, so they've gone ahead and fixed up that deal, and now we have the full frame right through to the rear bumper. Very cool. We can also mount the rear bumper to that, of course. A lot more sturdier than having this oddball connection. Now this is going to have to come out all the way down here. Best bet is to do it one side at a time so you don't have to take apart everything all at once. Okay guys, alongside this mod we are going to be installing an RGB light kit, part number CKD0801, and that involves changing out the shock towers because the new shock towers are actually drilled for like a top cover plate that the LED thing mounts on top and shines down. So just make sure you pay attention to how those go in, and I just want to tell you guys, if you are going to put them in, change them now when doing the mod, or else you just have to swap them out later. Anyhow, let's kick this camera up in high speed and let's get these done. Rear panhard mount has got two screws that go through here and one in the bottom, and it kind of has like a fork that slides underneath the screw. So just make sure that screw underneath is set to the right height before you slide it out. It should be factory. Don't pull down on it, slide it out, slide it back in. Okay, back to high speed. Okay guys, we got the rear frame fully extended on the rear so we can put in the new rear bumper mount, but we have the bumpers painted in matte black drying right now. I thought I had some leak seals, we could do like a textured Line-X look to them, but I ran out at some point, or I left it in the garage and it's frozen now, so it is garbage. But anyhow, we decided to put in the light kit in the meantime, so let's get to that. In the kit, it gives you, again, the shock towers with these brackets here, which will hold these LED cards with the plugs in them. They have a little tab that they slide into the top. You might put a little glob of shoe glue to kind of lock them in place, but they look like a pretty bright little LED pod too. Good size and pretty bright. So, and then they come with a bunch of wire retainer clips. You have two different types. You have this little guy, and then just like a little one you push down and close. Pretty simple, nothing to it. Instructions are pretty simple. And then you got to take your little RGB Rock light controller. We're going to mount that onto the back of the front steering servo with a 3-pin connector into the far outside edge of it, with the light or gray wire on the bottom in the first slot, or the one to the outside. You can put a nice little coil in the wire. They supplied a little bit of double-sided tape to mount that, and then this guy will plug into the third channel on your stock radio, so you can actually change the light colors. It'll do red, blue, green. I'm not sure if it'll do a mix. I'm sure it'll just do red, blue, green, and a couple modes, different functions and flashes and stuff. But
Party mode.
And party mode. Okay, so let's get these guys open. We'll get a better look at these little LEDs really quickly before we get going. So it is a nice little PCB type board LED with these two little pods. I would say 4mm LED pod on the end there, little LED element or whatever you want to call it. I'd say about 4mm, so they should be very, very bright. You want to mount this with the plug facing into the inside of the truck, and they should just hook and slide into here. I'm going to put the wire through first and then hook it up and then kind of feed it back through to make sure it does all go in properly. You kind of don't want to be messy in those tight spaces. So, first up, let's get the wire strung out perfectly straight. We can conform it to fit the truck later. In the manual, they have it looped in between all these pieces all the way down. You don't need to do that. This is a fairly harder core wire on the inside, so don't bend them around too much. Don't, like, you know, crink it really hard. Is that a word?
Yes.
Crink. Just go with that. So starting point here at the box, plug number 1 right here, right back here. So now on these shock towers, there is a hole right there. Boop, 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 boop. There's a hole right here, right behind the shock. Can you see it? So we're gonna have to feed that through, but you want to keep this wire nice and flat so we can kind of bend it, shape it, and curve it through. They went with a more coarse wire so it is easier to manage, and you can shape it and it will hold that shape and stay that way. We are going to pull off the shock just to make it a little bit easier, and I wanted to add a couple more spacers to it anyway. As factory, they didn't add enough spacers to keep it from hitting the shock tower. So 1, 2, always plan ahead. This guy's gonna go like that, this guy's gonna go like that, and this guy's gonna go back out here. You don't need to go behind, it's gonna make a big mess. So let's get that guy going just like that for now. You know, I'm gonna throw all this over on that side. Keep the wire flat. Now I'm going to recommend pulling it through, putting your board onto it. So far everything is manufactured in a nice flowing way. I think it's going to be a very nice install. Now I'm going to put a little 90, about 3/8 of an inch in. So on the top, there are these two little clips hanging down, kind of like that, and the board slides in between. Super simple, guys. So work that in. It's only to go in so far. I'm going to take it a visual look. Okay, can you see in there? Okay, so we get the board on the top. Wire run down the back through the hole, nice and clean. Put the shock back in. This way, down. Put the shock back in, and then we'll move on to the other side. Basically, guys, run them all the way around. You've got the little clips. They give you two types. Follow the instructions. They're very simple. Follow them through, get them down. I just want to show you that really quickly. We'll catch you guys back here. I'm going to get those quickly strung in. We'll put the bumpers on, and then we'll show you the setup in the manual, how to set up the lights really quick. And then we'll cut the body. I think we're good to go. So let's get it. Okay, guys, we got the RGB kit installed in there. Jesse and I were just testing it. Let's turn these lights now. Stock radio, turn that bad boy on. We're gonna hook up our battery. We're running a 2S LiPo battery. Good enough. Boom, truck comes on, you got lights, looks fantastic. Free up that tension on that servo and you're humming away. Anyhow, you click the channel 3 button twice, change colors. It's got a dozen different colors in there. My favorite is this one, black. I like that one, looks pretty good. It's red, yellow, blue, green, all that stuff. We're gonna leave it on the blue. We like the blue for our blue truck. Now the weird thing is there's a mode button on the receiver. They should have held it as like a double click changes and a press does the mode. I've tried it, doesn't seem to work. You actually have to go in and hold the mode 2 seconds, 1, 2, let go, and then it will change to the next one. If you hold it for 5 seconds, it will reset and go all the way back to mode 1. So make sure you go 1, 2, and then you can get all your modes. That wasn't quite enough. 1, 2. That was pretty cool. We got like the show truck style looking going on there. And 1, 2. Keeps going. It's got a whole bunch of different patterns. Anyhow, just want to show you guys that before we throw it back on. I'm going to hold it down for like 5 seconds and hopefully reset it right back to number 1. Lights on, colors back to red. Yeah. Click this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, guys, I'm going to put the bumpers on, turn the lights back on. Let's get that done. Okay, so I stuck those nice little LED holders into the bumpers. Now we have a light kit for this thing from GT Power that we're going to put into. We just are waiting for the headlights and the taillights for the body before we do the whole package as one with the sound unit and everything. It's going to be pretty cool. Check out that. Anyhow, let's grab the front bumper mount and the good old instructions. Now on the instructions, they have a graph to show you the optimal mounting position that's going to fit your body in the stock format. And the front bumper is starting with the bottom of your mount, second hole up from the bottom, second hole up from the bottom. Easy cheesy, nice mount, a little bit better than this chunk of foam on there. Pretty simple, guys. Pop out the couple screws, slide that guy out, pop it back in. We have them painted in matte black temporary. I am going to take off the cutting from the body bumpers tomorrow to a local auto body shop and get the paint match. So we can color match the bumpers to the body. How about I put the sway bar mount on this side, Jesse, too?
Well, you just pre-threading the whole.
Yeah, just making sure everything lined up.
It, yeah.
I picked up my truck in the shop today and it kind of pulls a little. And that's why I work on toy trucks. Okay, and the rear mount, they recommend we put those into the, all the way up into the top. Top set of holes all the way up. So. Now the instructions in there will tell you to use 3x10mm screws, but nowhere in the kit did they give us any 3x10mm screws. They're all 3x8. It's not going to matter. It's probably just a typo on the paperwork because 10 is not needed here. Go home 10, you're not needed. Good looking piece. You got the backup lights in here. Also, you have a bumper trailer hitch on the back, which is nice. We're going to transfer our KAOS billet hitch into there. Actually, might as well do that right now. Good looking piece. I like how it's got a little bit of flex to it. Okay, we made some more parts for the parts bin. We are going to put this guy off to the side. Let's get the body cut and get it on here in all its glory. Now for that, as you guys know by now, we use X-Acto X-Life blades. They say cut it off. They show scissors. You're not going to be able to cut this line with scissors nicely. Maybe you can. You can cut away and work at it and stuff, but scoring it with a razor and just snapping it off is going to be probably your best bet. You can start some cuts with your scissors in there, but a lot going on, so simple enough, guys. Just follow the line, lay it in the crease, and start scoring a line. Use a brand new blade. If you have control issues and the blade wanders a lot, you can actually just snap off the tip, so you're using more of a square blunt edge instead of like dragging a tail. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. But I find planting the body, and you can plant your arm. You don't need a lot of pressure. You just need a couple passes. So I cut into the side, so I'm not putting like extra force down the side panels. I'm just trying to get the front so I can peel it. So I cut through the side panel. You can actually even just get rid of that guy, so you can go kind of uppy downy. Move that for getting stuck in the arm. And then you can just, there you go. Just kind of crease it, pull it down away from the cut, open the cut up, break it away like doing drywall. I keep working it. I got my finger behind pushing and my thumb in the back pulling, working it. You don't want to rip and peel. Ripping and peeling will cause running a rough edge. There's no, like, You must just throw the body then. Slowly work it. If you can't get it to go with this method, then you have to cut a little bit more. Now, before I ran the blade once across there, I took about 3 or 4 passes before we started filming, and I'm still going to go in and just make sure I am happy with this line here. It's a little bit thick. It's kind of challenging us, so there we go. For that guy. Try to peel, always bend. Last little bit like that, we can just cut that straight with scissors. That's an easy straight cut with curved scissors. So there you go. So there you go. Now, like I said, I'm going to take that to an auto body shop. I'm going to get them to make me a base clear in that nice Ford blue metallic, and we're going to prime and we're going to paint the bumpers in another video. But yeah, simple enough. I'm going to do that to the back, you guys, and then I'm going to come along with 220 grit. I'm going to sand out this edge till I'm happy with the profile on it. We'll drop it on there. We'll see you guys back here for the completion of this video. Let's do it. Okay, guys, there you go. We get the lights down dim. Check it out. The blue RGB Rock light's looking good. It does have the 12 flashing mode, but we just want to keep it on with the single kind of running light, underglow if you would. Looks pretty good. The bumpers really help set the truck off. They look really good. Once we get those color matched to the body, they're going to look really, really good. But as they are just in the matte black, they work well. They look good. They fit good. We had to bring up the body 1 hole in the front, and the rear we brought up probably about 2-3 holes. I had a little bit lower in the rear, about 2-3 holes in the rear, and then we had to modify the top of the rear bumper. It's got 2 holes that it mounts on. We basically cut off both top mounts so we could get it dropped down 1 more screw hole, and then we got the rear mounted on. So looks good. I do kind of want to add a center support to this body that's mounted off the chassis that holds it up at the, so it's not kind of doing that in the middle. So we're going to work on that at a later time, but we're going to find a support we're going to put in the middle just to kind of get rid of that. Something we can 3D print real quick that it just sits onto a little piece of foam, kind of like Arma uses and such on the fire team, whatever it's called. So okay, guys, so that brings us to the end of this little upgrade on our tow pig truck. We keep throwing little things at it here and there. Just want to keep you guys in the loop. Next step is get those bumpers painted, and then we're gonna get the 110 rod shop taillights, headlights, grill, and then we're gonna do a full sound kit and light kit into it and really get it popping. So anyhow, guys, that's enough for right now. Check out this beautiful F450 from CEN Racing America. And if you are in Canada, be sure to check out these things at Eliminator RC in Winnipeg, Manitoba. See you on the next one.